Welcome to Locker Room, everybody. I am your host, Justin Lindler, and I am joined by returning Ethan Styll. And for the first time, our very own executive producer of Capital City Sports, Emma Milner, has joined us. Thank you, Emma, for coming on. Thank you, Ethan.
For having me.
Thank you.
Last week, we shook things up a bit. We had an end-of-the-year awards type show. We had the people who watched this show vote. Thank you all who voted. Today, we're just going to dive into the results about who won and who didn't win.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So the very first award, this was not discussed last week, but this was the game of the year. This was the game that everyone thought was most exciting to watch, put them through the most emotional roller coaster. And the winner of this was the Monday Night Football game, highest scoring Monday Night Football game in history between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Rams. Ethan, what do you think about this result?
I think that's an interesting game because it was talked about a lot before, too, because that was the one that was originally supposed to be in Mexico, am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it was supposed to be in Mexico, and then they were like, wow, that field's terrible. We're not going to go to Mexico anymore.
No.
So they went to Los Angeles. So that game was a home game that wasn't originally supposed to be a home game for Los Angeles. That could have played into them winning. But to be fair, Los Angeles doesn't really have a fan base yet. So then again, like, I don't know.
Kudos to the Los Angeles fan base, though, because they had about 5 days notice of the game, and that stadium was sold out in the LA Coliseum.
It was sold out?
It was sold out, full house.
That's impressive.
That's on
like
me for not knowing
90,000 seats filled in 5 days.
Apparently they did have a fan base. Either way, that game was just nuts. It was so offensively intense. Every time you looked up, I was watching it with some people from SGTV, actually. Every time we were looking up, someone else was scoring, or if not scoring, making a big play, right? And you say, and this is kind of an argument people have when talking about college football as compared to the NFL. You see college football had so much higher scoring. Like, well, there's no real defense. It's not as good of a game, right? And you could make that argument here, but the defense had turnovers and scores for I'm fairly sure both defenses. If not, both defenses scored points in this game and had turnovers that meant something. The game ended on a pick.
Yep.
And so you look at the game, and yes, it was chippy, it was sloppy, but it was so high scoring, and there were such good moments from every side of each team. I think that's what makes it the winner of this category.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely was just a good game on both sides of the ball. Just a lot of good defensive plays, a lot of good offensive plays. Most of the scoring came through Jared Goff, and for the the Chiefs defense, to shut down Todd Gurley like they did was very impressive. Mm-hmm. Emma, what do you think this says about the future of the NFL with all this young talent putting up the game that they did?
Well, like you said, they're young.
Yeah.
They're in their early 20s for the most part on both teams. So I think that it's very exciting for the NFL. I think that when we get guys that are like, when they become like Drew Brees' age and everyone's favorite, Tom Brady, the NFL is going to be something that you're not going to want to miss. But one of my favorites from that Monday night game was Patrick Mahomes, who I think you have an announcement about Patrick Mahomes.
It's funny you mentioned Patrick Mahomes. Breakthrough Athlete of the Year, as voted by you guys, was, wait for it, Patrick Mahomes.
Amazing. Wow.
It's
like we planned it.
With nearly 60% of the vote, Patrick Mahomes just having an all-time kind of year. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but I believe he's closer to, 40 touchdown passes already this season?
Yeah, I saw a stat. I was watching the Thursday night game last night as of the time we're recording this, and he has like a 119 or something QBR for the season.
That's
which
unreal.
They were comparing him and Rivers, which, side note, completely unrelated. Phillip Rivers, 115 QBR. Not bad himself. But back to our award winner. Mahomes is just lighting it up in every way you could think, And I was talking about in that game, he had the picks that were, put a damper on the game for the Chiefs, especially because they lost it. But that's going to happen when you're in a shootout like that, Turnovers happen a lot when you're trying to desperation play down the field.
Yeah.
So when you take those into context, into consideration, he's just having a nuts year. And especially when you think of who he's replacing. Alex Smith, when he was in Kansas City, was a great quarterback, consistent quarterback. And so people, I don't know if they were all in on Mahomes to start the season, but I don't know who isn't now.
So Patrick Mahomes definitely has been creating a lot of moments this year, which leads us into our next award, which was Moment of the Year. This was nominated by Tom Santinello last week, and the winning award with 36% of the vote, was 16 seed UMCB upsetting the number 1 overall seed of the tournament, Virginia, last year in this past March, in March Madness. Emma, were you surprised to see this happen? Or are you surprised by this result, I should say?
I mean, I would love to say that I was the one person in the United States that had UMBC upsetting Virginia, but I wasn't. I mean, yeah, this isn't even like the main college. Like, it's not even like the University of Maryland. It is like the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. Like, it's
probably have a student population of like 2,000.
Yeah, exactly. It's not. It'd be like if USC Union, one of our satellite campuses, upset Clemson. Like, it's just not what you expect. So I think that, I mean, an amazing game, that's for sure.
And it's not like it was a crazy shot.
No.
They beat Virginia.
Like, I watched
Virginia.
just for this episode, I watched the highlights from the game today, and I was like, oh yeah, they started dunking, they started having fun, like things that
they were
I completely
taunting them.
Yeah, it was amazing. So
I mean, I would too.
Yeah.
Shoot,
Yeah.
if I'm a 16 seed basketball player who was recruited to UMBC, nothing against the college, but let's be
Exactly.
honest,
they're the retrievers.
Who sits there and dreams about going to UMBC as a kid? No, you want to play for North Carolina. You want to play for
Duke,
Virginia,
Kansas,
Duke,
Kentucky.
all these
Yeah.
teams, right? All the 1 seeds, the 2 seeds. So the fact that they were able to do this, they knew that that was going to be this concrete moment in history.
Yeah.
And they were able to just let loose and have fun. Yeah, they lost in the next round. Ultimately,
That's not
for the
important.
They'll be remembered
They made
forever.
history.
Right.
Yeah.
Ultimately, for the tournament, that's what matters. And they knew that, and they were able to have fun with it. So I think that's why this was able to win Moment of the Year, just because it was something that we may never see again.
It may never, because this
legitimately may never happen while we're
and this
alive.
like when we say like, oh, this thing has never happened before. People say it all the time. No, this never happened.
Yeah.
Like the 16 team has never won.
And I think the thing that made this so significant is, like, even if you don't follow basketball, you don't like sports, you heard about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you saw.
Yeah.
That's what makes a moment to me. It's
Yeah.
like, wow, this never happened before and it happened. That's cool. So great win for UMBC. Great team win. Great team overall. However, they were not the team of the year. Team of the year, as voted by you guys, were the World Series champions, the Boston Red Sox. Franchise record of wins in a season, their 4th title in the last 18 years, or something along those lines. Ethan, are you surprised by this?
Not at all. I mean, the Red Sox were a team. The baseball season is notoriously long, right?
Yes.
I personally don't
Very
follow
long.
it that very long. I personally don't follow it the closest, but even just having this like vague sense of knowing what's happening in baseball, you could see the Red Sox coming from a mile away.
Yeah.
They've been good for so long this season, also overall, but we'll get to that later. They've been good for so long this season. They just have studs. That's what they have, studs basically.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, 2 of those are former Gamecocks.
Yep.
Pierce and JBJ. So it's like it's great for us as a university to be able to watch them, and I think that helped put them on the radar here on campus.
Yeah.
Even if you're not a Red Sox fan. It just watching those playoff series, I was watching several of those games, and it's like you could just tell they had that magic. They had the fire, and granted, some of the teams that lost, some of the other teams on this nomination list had that fire, had the magic, but it's just the Red Sox were so dominant this year, and it's like they made it interesting too. They weren't dominant because they were smacking everyone. They were dominant because they were convincing in how they carried themselves while doing it. You know, they may have had a close game here and there, but they we've mentioned it earlier in the episode, and it's kind of like that Tom Brady effect. There's always a chance, right? And the Red Sox always gave themselves that chance, and I think that's why they were the team of the year, because they had that in them.
Yeah. Emma, you have anything to add to that?
I'm just kind of piggybacking off of what you said. This is such an old franchise. It's just a powerful franchise. There's so, like, even in the park, like, you go to Fenway Park, there's so much history there. Like, you just become engrossed in the Red Sox.
There's a pretty big wall there, too, I hear.
Yes. But, no, I think there's, in terms of, like, why this is Team of the Year, why this show, the viewers of this show voted, I agree. JBJ Pierce, but also up in Greenville, a minor league team of the Red Sox is there. They have their own smaller version of the wall. I think that there's just such an energy around the Red Sox on this university, in this state. But no, like, great team, great World Series.
Yeah, well
great
deserved.
season. Yeah, well deserved. You've said it all,
Absolutely.
man.
So the Boston Red Sox are definitely the most deserving team to win this, I agree with. But teams are made of athletes. And no athlete shined brighter this year, according to people that voted. This was the closest vote we had. No one shined brighter than that University of Alabama's quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa. Tua, with 27.3% of the vote, is having an all-time year.
He's just been nuts. He's been putting up Patrick Mahomes' numbers, ironically. It's like, it's been cool to see those two just both being so electric to watch. It's made the quarterback position really fun to watch. Not that it wasn't for a while, but like this season, it's like people use the term like, oh, they're doing Madden stats out there, right?
Madden
That's
stats.
Just, they're just that good.
Yeah.
And it's weird to see now with Jalen Hurts coming in at the end of the most recent Alabama game. It'll be interesting to see how that goes into the playoffs, if Tua will be healed by then, because I know he was injured. I don't really know the details of that. But that's all down the line. That's the very end of 2018. As of right now, he is the best athlete. I can confidently say that. The voters, 27.3 of them can confidently say that.
Yeah.
That he just had the best 2018. And I would agree with that. He's nuts.
Well, the thing about Tua is he's the full package. Even if you hate Alabama, everyone loves Tua. He's got he's the good kid. He doesn't get into trouble. He has full support from his family. I mean, he plays football. He almost quit football when his grandfather died and continued to play in his memory. Like, you can't not like this kid. He's an incredible athlete, well deserved of this award. We'll be shipping it to you in the mail, don't worry. You know. It's a paper plate with the locker room athlete of the year on it. That's how we do things here.
If you're lucky, I might print the logo on it.
Oh,
Ooh.
amazing.
Production.
Yes.
Next level.
Well, thank you again, everyone who voted for these end of the year awards. Thought it'd be kind of fun to do something different the last 2 weeks of the semester. This is my last time hosting Locker Room. I will be moving on into Emma's role as the new executive producer of Capital City Sports. I'm thank you.
I love it.
I'm very excited for the opportunity. I've enjoyed Locker Room. Locker Room's not going away. We will have a new host next semester in the spring. I really hope you guys still come back and watch and support the show just as much as you did before. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you two for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emma, for getting Capital City Sports back on track and getting us right in shape.
It's been fun.
I have big shoes to fill. I'm very excited. Once again, thank you all for voting, and we'll see you next spring for Season 3 of The Locker Room.